Legendary Western director John Ford's long-lost movie, The Scarlet Drop, was recently found 106 years after it premiered, but what is the film, and why is its recovery so important? For decades, The Scarlet Drop was thought to be completely lost to time. The Getty archive had about half an hour of the film's 50-minute runtime, but there hadn't been a widely available complete copy of the film in nearly a century. Now, however, John Ford's lost Western has been recovered, and The Scarlet Drop can be viewed in its entirety for the first time in over a century. John Ford has become a legend of Western cinema, so rediscovering any of his movies is a big deal. Ford made some of the best Western movies ever made, such as The Searchers, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and Stagecoach. Aside from the fact that The Scarlet Drop fills in a gap in the legendary director's career, the recovery of the film marks a big moment for film in general. Here's everything you need to know about The Scarlet Drop, including its plot, why it was lost and how it was found, what it did for Ford's career, and why rediscovering it was so special. What John Ford's The Scarlet Drop is about. The Scarlet Drop follows a man who becomes a bandit and finds redemption through love. A poster for John Ford's The Scarlet Drop featuring a picture of Harry Carey. After 106 years, the plot of The Scarlet Drop may seem like standard Western fare today, but in 1918, it was a momentous film. The Scarlet Drop follows Kentucky Harry Carey, a man who was denied from serving in the Union Army during the American Civil War. Kentucky became a bandit, but he eventually met and romanced Molly Calvert, Molly Malone, and their relationship inspired him to seek redemption. Themes of redemption are a staple of Westerns in the modern era, but in 1918, Kentucky's life as a bandit was almost scandalous, and several cities edited the film to remove his more unsavory actions, via Exhibitors Herald. How The Scarlet Drop was lost and found explained. The majority of silent films have been destroyed or lost entirely, but The Scarlet Drop was found in a Chilean warehouse. Though it was an important early step in John Ford's career as a filmmaker, The Scarlet Drop was almost completely lost to history. Unfortunately, the reason The Scarlet Drop was forgotten for over a century is not unique to Ford's film. According to David Pierce and the Library of Congress, 3/4 movies from the era of silent film have already been lost to time, and even more have only survived in incomplete or severely damaged states. There's a litany of reasons so many silent films have been lost to time. Several major studies outright destroyed their copies of silent films over the years, either to make space in storage or simply because they were damaged. An untold number of copies were destroyed by time itself, usually because they weren't properly preserved or were stored in conditions that allowed the film to deteriorate. The film preservationist The Scarlet Drop was given to Jamie Cordova, mentioned that he had previously found a film from 1955 that was in far worse condition, which illustrates that many films were simply neglected. Somehow, a single complete copy of The Scarlet Drop didn't succumb to any of the challenges the vast majority of silent films have. The owner of a warehouse in Santiago, Chile, discovered a complete version of the film a day before the building was set to be demolished. The previous owner, who had died 40 years prior, had the copy among a large collection of other films. The current owner then gave the films to Cordova, who identified The Scarlet Drop among them. Cordova then digitized the footage and screened it at the Valparaiso Recovered Film Festival, via the National. The Scarlet Drop was part of a long-standing John Ford partnership. John Ford and Harry Carey made 26 films together over almost 20 years. Molly Malone and Harry Carey in John Ford's The Scarlet Drop. The Scarlet Drop was important to John Ford's career personally, but it was also an important part of his most prolific partnership. John Ford and John Wayne's Westerns together may be the most well-known collaboration today, but Ford worked more extensively with Harry Carey. Ford and Carey actually made 26 films together, compared to Ford and Wayne's 24. The actor and director duo worked together for nearly 20 years, from 1917's The Soul Herder to 1936's The Prisoner of Shark Island. The Scarlet Drop was also described as the most supreme hit of Carey's career at the time, via MovieWeb. The Scarlet Drop was John Ford and Harry Carey's 10th film together, and it's now one of the few lasting products of their relationship, but not the only positive development. Ford and Carey were more than just business partners, they were also friends. After Carey died in 1947, Ford dedicated his film Three Godfathers to Carey's memory and called him the bright star of the early Western sky. Ford also had an extensive collaboration with Carey's son, Harry Carey Jr. It's likely because Ford and Carey worked together so often and so early in their respective careers that they became close. The Scarlet Drop is far from John Ford's only lost movie. Almost 50 of John Ford's earliest films have been lost to time. While recovering The Scarlet Drop is a major win for silent film and John Ford enthusiasts alike, it's far from the director's only film to be lost to time. Ford made over 130 movies during the course of his career, and nearly 50 of them, mostly from the silent era, are completely lost. Of the 26 films Ford and Harry Carey made together, only 5 are still around and in their complete condition, now that the Scarlet drop has been found. It's difficult to name another director who has such a huge catalogue of movies that has so thoroughly vanished from the annals of history. The sheer number of John Ford's movies that have been lost makes the recovery of the Scarlet drop even more special. A piece of Ford's legendary filmography that was written off as non-existent has been brought back to life, and we get to enjoy it now just as much as viewers did in 1918. This news may even have the added benefit of showing people why silent films are still so valuable, even after a century's worth of technological advancement. The recovery of the Scarlet drop is a wonderful moment for cinephiles the world over.